AI in project management that Antonio and I. Antonio, it's a big pleasure to be with you, my friend, on this journey on AI. And today we'll talk more about AI applications. We have thousands of people here connecting, and also if you see the slides are also translated into Chinese because we have more than 2,000 people, right, Antonio, in China also broadcasting this. So we are doing this, of course, speaking in English, but we'll do this also to contemplate the people in China. Okay, so just to start, so I just want to briefly introduce myself. So, you know, I think I'm working on this area of project management for so many years. So I had the chance to collaborate with PMI and be the chairman as Antonio. We are both also fellows. I had the chance to write several books, and also I'm passionate about AI, and I'm also advisory board of 2 companies engaged in this area. Okay, so I don't want to spend too much time on that. Antonio, for you to introduce yourself quickly.
Well, the same, Ricardo. It's a pleasure to be with everyone here. I feel like going back and talk to friends and colleagues and experts like us, and also to the big community in China. Thank you for organizing that, Jack, and helping us to promote this new way of looking at projects. So I think from my side, you can see the information there. So I propose we go straight to the topic of today. Started this, I think you'll see that in the next slide, but basically we've been doing a lot of work on AI, Ricardo and myself. Everything started in February with an article in Harvard Business Review, which became one of the most read articles, not just on project management, on HBR. And that was like great, unexpected for us. We believe in AI, but we didn't expect that the world of management would understand the importance of this topic. And then since then, we did a webinar. We had more than 1,500 participants. We're publishing in Duke, in Brightline, in PMI, and we have a big event on the 15th of June as well with PMI on the PMI virtual experience. Ricardo, myself, Abigail from Google, and Terence, one of the futuristic persons in AI. So we are kind of, we love to drive this movement together with all of you because we have to take a big step here and move fast. Next slide, Ricardo. So if you think backwards, and if you think even last year, talking about AI in project management was a bit like science fiction, right? It's like, come on, that's never going to happen. We don't have data for it. And you say, well, it will happen maybe in logistics, it will happen with cars, it will happen with, but not in projects and project management. And this has accelerated so much. And this is a story that Ricardo and I wrote for the HBR article. Imagine in not very far. So we thought maybe in 20 years. No, maybe this will happen in 5 years. Next slide. So apologies for all the big text that you see there. We've added the Chinese translation. But imagine Laura, the CEO of a large telecom provider, is using a smartphone app to check all the projects. They have 7 strategic initiatives. With a few taps, she knows exactly the status of these 7 initiatives and the percentage of benefits already delivered on the phone, like that. Project charters and KPI, if she wants to drill down, she gets that immediately, a couple of taps, and you get that. Also, important new elements, the team morale. So that's, you know, it's important. And buying on critical stakeholders, all in the app. And the app is because the app has updates itself. You don't need to have monitoring or so. It would take some level of decisions. And the point of this project, Laura was doing a rebranding strategy, but the competition launched faster. So they had to adapt this project and that's some changes to the plan. If you go to the next slide, please, Ricardo. So the project was delayed. The app recommended that the team should apply agile techniques. So the app is not just giving you input, it's recommending with AI and big data, saying for that piece, that work stream, why don't you use these techniques? Imagine Imagine what that, and it will speed up this is the time you will save if you work like this. During the meeting, Laura meets the project leader, which is called Alex, and they work on the app to look up at solutions, options, and the plan is automatically updated, and the message is also automatically sent. So really, most of the work, the updating, the scenarios is done by the artificial intelligence, and the leader is working more on the stakeholders and so on. So this might look like 20 years down the line. But Ricardo and I, what we're seeing is that this is going to happen very, very, very soon. And we're not prepared. So I think that's makes me very excited because we have a huge opportunity. So that's a bit the story for setting up this webinar. This is happening as we speak. Back to you.
Okay. So now we will discuss a little bit more about how do we see the future and how do we envision the future? Because what Antonio just said, it looks like science fiction, but it's not. There is a lot of things happening now in this area. So just to give you an idea, so and this is, I would say, very brutal when we talk about that Gartner is saying that 80% of today's works of the project manager, if we think the work as the work we do now, today, will be eliminated by 2030, okay? And this means we'll have to reshift, and several of our activities will be delegated to tools that will help, and then this will be the heart of our presentation today. And Antonio, probably you can explain this right survey here, talking about that you did that.
I did that in the PMI LinkedIn, and you see 1,600 people like us, project managers. They think above from 50% to 75% disrupted. So one thing is Gartner, which is research, but then these are the people like us who say, no, actually, you're right. Gartner is right. It's about 60, 70%, and great comments. If you have the chance, just go in there because people is blowing away some of these views that we have. So great. I think it's just confirming what we're saying here, Ricardo. This is happening as we speak.
Yeah. And now what I want is to talk about AI driven tools. And this is a topic that first I want just to give a step back, is that Antonio and I, we're not selling, we are not client. This video is not sponsored by these tools. We are just really happy users, okay? Happy users, and we are using them. And they have been very useful to all of us. And of course, we don't want to say, oh, it's one of them is ChatGPT, because this is, I would say, quite obvious for all of us, because probably most of you are already using it. So I want just to go a little bit deeper in these 8 tools, and I will explain the 4 initial ones, and then my friend Antonio will talk about them. And we'll talk about Umata, Motion, High View, Gamma, Predictor, De facto, Scope Master, and OFolio. So let me go and start with Umata. Umata is a tool that uses the concept of GPT-4 to help us to understand and crunch massive pieces of data into very easy and contextual chatbot. And this Umata, I want to show you a video that I did myself. So let me just explain the video. I went to the official report of the James Webb Space Telescope report. I did that. I went there and I downloaded a 37-page file, and I upload on Umata, and I start asking questions about it. So take a look on how these can speed up your decisions on the project. So this is just a real video, okay, for you to take a look. So take a look on okay. Okay, so now I am at the James Webb Telescope. I'm downloading the full report, 33 pages. So I downloaded, I just recorded my screen, okay? I record it. Then I went to Umata. I upload this file. It can be on the beta version, it can be up to 60 pages. So imagine this is the report from your provider. It's everything. Imagine the speed you can do that. So it's asking me 26, 25 seconds, 23 seconds, and you'll see that it will open a screen that is like a chatbot screen. And look, on this chatbot screen, I can ask any question I want about this project report. So I'm asking, which are the main risks I need to be aware of? So what is happening? It's speeding up the analysis of documents. Any type of document you can analyze this way. And this Umata is one of the tools that do. There is another one that is called Copy PDF AI or Copy AI PDF. There are many. So look, I'm asking, take a look, and what is the difference? It's answering the question and also pointing to me the pages where I can find this information. So, and this took me something like what? This video is probably 1 minute. So imagine this in terms of your performance of using this. And this is a tool you can use now. And I use this, I have the free account, and I use this at no cost, okay? Just to give you an idea. The second tool, and this is absolutely amazing because I'm using it all the time to manage my team tasks. Because, for example, I use a lot Scrum and Agile methods in my project. So what I do, I have a task list for my project, for example, during the next sprint. And then it put on my calendar. And when I delay a single task, AI will reprioritize. For example, let's suppose I have a task with a high priority here, and I was unable to do it. What will do? It will update all my calendar. It will shift everything around to make sure that you keep the priority. So instead of you doing something that is a low priority, it moves this, and it moves this among your team. And this is, I need to say to you, now I'm talking again, as I said, I have nothing to do with motion, okay? Absolutely zero, okay? No sponsorship, nothing. And it's so disruptive that I'm trying to use. And what my biggest challenge is that it shifts my agenda all the time. And then I say, why this moved from that position to that position? Why the task I assigned it to someone moved? Because the AI is behind in that, trying to make sure I maximize the results of my time. And this is absolutely disruptive. It's one of, please, I strongly recommend, try to test it, because you will see that it's a completely different way of you fixing your schedule and your work. Then the third one is HireVue. And I spoke about HireVue on our first webinar when I spoke, because this is absolutely a breakthrough on hiring people and hiring teams. And I'm already using it. And I tried to find a video, Antonio and we tried to find a public video of an interview process, but it's just impossible because we couldn't find this on HireVue. We found many videos of giving tips to people to use this, but I was unable to talk about a real experience. So we found, I think in reality, Antonio found this on TikTok. And I want just to show you how powerful is HireVue on this. Take a look on this video.
How a HireVue AI-enabled interview works. Your answer is broken down into 25,000 data points. Those are analyzed by an AI. Your performance is then compared and ranked against high-performing current employees of the company you are applying to. If the AI decides your answer is good enough, you get through. So fight fire with fire. Get AI-powered interview prep at tryvoomer.com. Start free today.
It's important on this HireVue video. What is critical on this video? 25 data points. And the screen here is showing even the way you move your face. Of course, this process of review is being super challenged today by many people to see, okay, what is in there? What is behind this? And does it come with bias or not? And there is a long dispute on that, but this is the trend. And honestly, I never participated in an interview process where I'm interviewed by a machine. Okay, it should be quite challenging and quite interesting, but it's a very relevant trend, and so it's something that you can use, for example, to recruit in your teams immediately.
How hard are you?
Okay, let me just go to Gamma. What Gamma does, it's a new medium of presenting ideas, and this I'm using all the time to create very powerful presentations. For example, when I need to prepare a report, and I can do this in a presentation format, in the document format. I can just create a status report if I need in a matter of seconds. And I want just to show you this demo, and it's a real demo I did myself. So just for you to take a look on the video. Preparing a presentation out of nothing. I said a portfolio. I presented this portfolio. I showed it to the team, and it creates everything for me. Okay, everything for me immediately using this Gamma application.
One of the tools that I love, and I'm convinced about AI in this space, is AI should be able to help companies to decide the best projects. And I came across Predictor from a friend now, and Professor Paul Bordereau, and actually I'm not, again, promoting this, but I'm working with him on something similar for selection and prioritization. Imagine we say 70% of the projects fail, but if we select the right ones, and we know which one has bigger chances of succeeding, imagine the impact that we have. So you can train, you can predict, and this is around machine learning. So there's a small video, it's a bit technical, but still we can try to share it, Ricardo. Let's see if that works, that I got from them, so that you see how it works with the networks.
And this graphic is representative of the neural network that the tool uses to make the predictions. And that is, there's inputs, there's a 3-layer neural network that drives the algorithm, and an output, which is a percentage prediction. You can see I have projects, or project listing in the first column. And then the first row, each of the columns, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, etc., is a feature or a characteristic of each project. I go to the Predict menu, the left-hand side, and here's the model that I just trained. And the results here, Project A, it says the probability of success is 99.32. Project B says probability of success based on the model is 36.44. So we've made a prediction. Now, if we look at this tool, we can use it not only for project prediction in terms of starting projects, but we could also use this for risks, what risks are likely to happen on a project, or perhaps quality issues on the project and how they were resolved, perhaps stakeholder communication. There's all sorts of concepts that you can think of where all you have to do is define the features, which means the characteristics of whatever you're looking at, label that data set, and then create a model based on the data set.
This tool is being used now, and we're developing something. This is one I love, because one thing that we always see an issue is that we love this topic, and project managers, PMO, we love all this, but then senior leaders say, I don't need this. I'm too strategic. Project management is tactical. And actually, if we bridge that gap, and senior leaders will start using these tools and projects to drive change in countries and regions and so on, then we'll just be so popular and so high in demand. So I came across the company De Facto. They're based in Brussels, Belgium, and they've developed this tool for the president of France. And they have created this dashboard that you see for all the projects, thousands of projects that are having in the public sector. And the press came and saw that, and they thought that this is like Big Brother watching all the public sector projects so that they're executed on time. So there's a small video, if you played like 15 seconds, that should show what is happening here.
Interdiction du portable à l'école, mission réussie à 100%. 90% pour le dédoublement des classes. Les résultats sont moins bons pour le bac et contrôle continu, 45%, ou les nouveaux diplômes professionnels.
But you can see this is the dashboard that the president has. Scope Master, I love this one too, because one of the challenges that we have in projects is defining the scope, right? And especially this one is specialized for software requirements. So imagine the most projects like SAP implementations, they are regularly a failure and terrible. But with this tool, using AI and big data, the scope is being done with the tool, and they really assess the requirements. It reads requirements to see, hey, this requirement is not very well done. You need to define it better. It does interpretation, testing of requirements. Say this requirement requires this type of change. Imagine you have a list of thousands of requirements, and the tool will tell you, it tells you which one are good, which one are not good, which one you need to test. They estimate also. It's only for Agile. So user stories, they give you the estimation of the scope. So wow, this is just, imagine if you can do that and ensure that your scope is very well defined and done with artificial intelligence. Let's see if the video.
On software projects, one of the biggest problems is poor requirements. Garbage in, garbage out. And large projects have very high failure rates, and the root cause of as much as 35% of production defects can be traced back to poor or incomplete requirements. Hello, I'm Colin, and I'd like to introduce you to Scope Master, a tool that makes transparent use of AI to automate requirements analysis work on software projects. As a PM, I had discovered that knowing the functional size of a project helped me become a more capable and successful project and portfolio manager. But sizing them was tedious manual work, and as you'll see, Scope Master does the heavy lifting of that and a whole lot more. The overall result of using this tool is that you can deliver software projects faster, better, and cheaper. Now, written requirements or user stories are the bedrock of communicating between stakeholders of what is to be built. And that's where we'll start. Scope Master analyzes the written requirement to provide the author with instant feedback on how their wording might be interpreted by readers, and in doing so, he or she can adjust it quickly and efficiently until it is clear and broadly correct. Scope Master provides interpretation of functional intent, the users, the data movements, the cosmic function points. It gives quality feedback and proposes how the user story or the requirement might be tested, saving the test team a considerable amount of time. Where Scope Master gets particularly exciting is when we take a set of user stories and ingest them. And as you can see here, we are doing analysis on a set of stories very, very quickly. The result of which is insight across this set, such as this use case model diagram that allows us to see the users from a user's point of view, what the software will do for them. The CRUD analysis, which is very hard to do manually on software requirements, exposes missing requirements. Scope Master can also help bridge the gap between the requirements and the software design by proposing how the code might be organized. Overall, Scope Master delivers incredible insight and value very, very quickly. It's a power tool for business analysts, PMs and PMOs, that it performs in seconds tedious and valuable work that would otherwise take hours or days, but too often just doesn't get done. Most customers see a 10x ROI within weeks. For more information, visit scopemaster.com. Thank you.
Yeah, and the last one before we move to the next section is Folio. And also, this was somebody, I think I was teaching one of the founders in my class in project management for MBAs. And a few years later, they came and say, we've developed this application that you can actually do your project plans. If you're building a factory, for example, we can do it in like 5 minutes. The whole plan, details, schedule with WBS. I said, what? And so I've been following a bit of Folio. I talk to them, I see how they're evolving, and I think what they're doing is also in a very particular niche, which is the planning, the scheduling, the WBSing, using big data. Imagine if you start a project and you put all these elements and you tell Folio or any similar machines to tell you, can you make the plan for me? Right? And it's done like in 5-10 minutes. And then from that, you elaborate and you can, of course, fine tune, but you can also simulate in this tool. The tool will tell you which options are the better, and that you can deliver on delays, on capacity, on cost. So all these are constraints that the smart tool will take into account and replan your projects. So we are talking about key components of any project management: the scope, the plan, the monitoring and reporting. It's just huge. The same, we have...
All these eight tools, they are absolutely great. We would love to introduce you to dozens of them, because what is happening today, it's every single day I see on Twitter or on LinkedIn, there are something like 25 new ones. And I want to share you something with you. In 2018, I started with colleagues in Denmark and colleagues from fellow mine. We started developing at that time a chatbot on project management, and this became, I would say, quite popular. It's already mentioned in our article on HBR, and it's Piamoto. And what I want just to share with you, and this what we are sharing with you, it's absolutely very, very, very first time. Antonio saw this, something like what, Antonio, 1 hour ago? Yeah, probably.
1 hour ago.
Yeah, and this is the speed of AI. So what I want to share with you, and this is, I'm super excited, is that we are shifting and making Piamoto ready again with generative AI and GPT-4. So what we did, Antonio and I, we are together and partner with an amazing group in the Baltics and Denmark working on this, and we will be releasing extremely soon. I would say, I don't want to promise a date, but we will take all my content, all Antonio content, all public available content that we can access and we have the right to access, and we'll combine this with GPT-4 to create the largest accessible repository of project management information, where you can ask absolutely everything on project management, from calculations, from numbers, from decisions on your schedule. And it's like the ChatGPT, but with all specific knowledge on project management. So if you go to Piamoto.ai now, you'll see a screen, because we are just preparing it to open the beta registrations, okay? And these beta registrations will be for free, so people can join and help us to test this version. But I want just to give you, I would love to show the video, so I will try here to see if will work. But you need to see, because this is an absolutely draw of the power of what we are talking about. So on this video, you will see I'm asking a question about to complete CPI. I'm saying, look, I have a project with a CPI and I have a budget. What is the TCPI? What is the to complete performance index? And it makes all the calculation. It gives me a lecture on AI. And this, we already uploaded it even to GPT-4, to ChatGPT-4 on that. So this was the technology that we are trying to convey to users here. So, of course, the face you are looking at has nothing to do with the face you will see in a matter of days, okay? But I can ask any theoretical questions, any practical questions. Also, you can ask advice on Antonio or myself about a specific issue on your project. These data are private data, so the data you will be using will use a private database on that. So we will release this beta. Antonio, I'm now with all this challenge on tech, I'm just afraid, because what you see today became ready just this morning. So our expectation that in a matter of days, the beta will be released, and we will do some demonstration, and we will invite, and you will be the first ones to know, okay? You will be the first ones to know, and we'll release this. But our plan, it will be probably still this month. And why I'm saying this, because I know many people say, what is a short time frame in AI? What is a long time frame? And I would say a long time frame in AI is probably a month. Okay, so things are happening very fast. So you should expect to have these beta public available in a matter of days. Okay, and I hope so, if everything works fine in the next, I would say 48, 72 hours. Okay, so this is, I'm super excited, because this is a project that is ultra close to my heart. And it's, I would say, one of the best ways for us to give our legacy, right, Antonio? How many newsletters, everything, the books, everything Antonio published, plus myself, plus other people. So we'll be joined by other people and other content on creating this huge database using AI in project management. So this is my announcement. And Antonio, back to you, my friend.
And I'm very happy to be on that. I always dreamt to have an app that you can not just chat and check out for knowledge, but also give you advice on what to do in your project, right? And how you can make it better and do health checks automatically, all these things. So I'm very excited for that, Ricardo, and I look forward to share more with everyone in this call and project managers around the world. Just briefly before we go into Q&A. So if you go to the next slide, all the thing is happening. So all the 8, 9 tools that you're seeing are there. And last time when we had this webinar, we talked about 5 areas that are being disrupted. Basically everything in project management, from selection, from the project support office and knowledge and capabilities, the testing, the virtual project assistant, the project planning, scheduling. So I would say everything except maybe the people side, right? The stakeholder management, the high performing teams, that's what you don't see in these tools yet, and hopefully it will take some time. In the next slide, Ricardo, please. This is generating new challenges. I can this one we can go quickly, but I think if you look at the project life cycle, what you see is that it's impacting everyone. It's from the beginning of the project life cycle till the end. And I think I talk about the new project life cycle. It's a more end-to-end, including ideation, including the run, and very much focus on the benefits. But what I wanted to briefly comment is next slide, which is this creates new challenges that were not challenges there. I think basically first is the role of the project manager is going to change radically. If 80% of what we do is different, automated, we'll need to change 60-80% of what we do. So we'll talk about that soon in another event, but we need to build knowledge. I was interviewed yesterday in a big radio in Spain, and they say, is this scary? And I say, yes, it's scary, but you cannot block. You need to look at the opportunities. You cannot try to stop it. It's not possible. So you need to embrace and learn that. Like, we wanted to share that passion of testing, like Ricardo has done with some softwares, me too, because that's what makes you better, for sure. You don't need to program them, but understand where they add value. I think ethics, values is also very, very important. What if somebody that develops one of these tools has bad intentions? So and has negative impact. So something that we never thought, we need to start thinking. Cybersecurity, the same. We're putting data in these softwares. What happens with it? Are we protected? And then how do you build trust? Trust within a team of individuals. Yeah, we know how to work that. But if you start mixing with technologies and robots and AI, how do you build trust? Which is the glue for making high successful projects. So these are things that we're going to explore further. This is just, again, beginning to see these issues coming in and how we are shifting to address other problems.
Antonio, if you allow me, because this is like, for me, is so critical. I just published last week an issue of my newsletter that touches exactly about point number 3. Because, many people talk to me, because when we see the tools, and it's very important for you to understand that when we see the tools and say, it's amazing to create a slide deck or a report in a matter of seconds. It's incredible to do a prioritization, at your fingerprint, or to select someone using an AI to do the interview that checks 25,000 different aspects of a candidate. This is incredible when we think about the technology. However, what will happen on the human side? And this is something that I have the same fears and the same questions of anyone. So how we can understand and encompass the amazing good things that this technology can provide to us, and at the same time preserve some cultural values, preserve the job, and use this not just to increase inequality, but to, to foster and to use this to the benefit of the whole society. And this is the challenge. And this is one point. This is why I said, Antonio, let me just say this, because if you hear the other parts of the history, you may think, oh, this Ricardo and Antonio, they are just crazy. They're talking about techniques with no point on the consequences of that. And I want just to make sure that you are aware of what we are talking, and that we are very mindful on that aspect too.
I think one of the biggest drivers for us is not the technology is exciting, but I think there's a big mission for the project management profession is to increase success rate. So I think my dream, Ricardo's dream, is that the next time there's a research from PMI, from Harvard, from McKinsey, they say, wow, before it was 70%, now success rate in project, failure rate has diminished and it's just 20%. Imagine, we will be achieving so much. So that's, I think, one of the main reasons why we do this, is to really be more and more successful, more impactful. So that's the big driver for us for making this introduction to AI. And
Yeah, I agree completely. And I want just to also talk about our masterclass and talk briefly. You saw that we announced this on the first webinar about doing a masterclass, and you know, Antonio and I, we thought a lot, and then we were able to put a masterclass in place. And this is, I would say, the first masterclass we are doing on that. So we decided to partner to do something really unique. And this will happen on 5th of July and 12th of July. So to be an 8-hour divided in 2 sections. And what we decided to do, it's to cover 6 different blocks on this masterclass. So we are putting a lot of effort on talking about how do we embrace AI in project management. The second, what is an AI project lifecycle? So when you are developing a project on AI, like for example, exactly right now on the Piamoto that we, Antonio and I, we are doing together, what do you need to have in mind when you put in place this kind of technology? And this is on the technical side and the development, and also on the, I would say, more holistic side. The third one is how we can use these AI tools and techniques. So we'll do group studies, we will discuss, we will do homeworks, we'll do group works on how we can empower these AI tools to immediate benefit. On number 4, we'll talk just about challenges that we are facing with AI and how us as a project managers can address that. On section number 5, we will invite some experts, some people that are on the front line of AI to be I would say, our guests and have a discussion. And this is not to be a big, massive, it's not a webinar like this one for, I would say, thousands of people, but it will be a much more selected group. And at the end, we will build an AI plan to understand how you can empower this technique into your benefit and your organization benefit. So the registrations are open now. We didn't announce yet. We decided to announce here, so we'll not post on social media yet. We'll not do any announcement to make sure that the people that are interested can have, I would say, the first chance. And what Antonio and I decided this morning is also to give, I would say, a special, we have very limited seats on this. So we are reducing the regular price of 499 euros to 299 euros. With a coupon called Early Bid. And this coupon will last up to the end of the month. And it's a very limited. Don't ask me exactly the numbers, because we are still figuring out what will be the technology that we are using to make sure we have breakout. Because what we want, it's really to give the opportunity for people to participate, to talk, to discuss, and not just to listen. Otherwise, we will do a webinar. And this is to really go deeper on the applications on this. And you can register now. We already have people registering. So just do that. And it's an effort that Antonio and I are putting together to deliver the best we can on this. Antonio, back to you if you want to say something on the masterclass. Otherwise, we can go to the questions. We have 64 questions here.
I think I'm very excited. I think we love to share. We love to connect with people. We love to transmit. So I think this is the first masterclass on AI on this type of in the world. So and we want to build not just the knowledge and the experience, but also build a community. So the networking is important, that we don't see this as just one-off 2.5 days, but we will have a plan to continue working together and evolving and transforming the profession and delivering higher impact. So what we want to build is a huge community, a very engaged community that drives AI. And maybe in the future we talk about other topics, but I think deep diving on AI, it's a great opportunity. We're spending lots of time researching, and we want to share that with you. And hands-on. I think that's also the important part. So that's it. Very, very much looking forward, Ricardo.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you, Antonio. I will take some of the questions. So we have 69 questions here. So I will try to go to some of them and you take others, okay?
Go ahead.
Vladimir Leonello asked, hi, the session will be made available after. The answer is yes. What we'll do, we'll take this, we'll edit, insert the videos and put on YouTube. I don't know exactly what happened with the link because we have an overload. We were not definitely expecting this amount of people connected. I don't know if this is the reason, but we had struggle. So what we'll do, we'll post on LinkedIn, we'll post on YouTube, we'll do everything we can to make sure everybody has access to that, because we don't want to, I would say, create any challenge to anyone on that, okay? So that's, back to you now.
I take from the bottom up, okay? Luis and Ono, they're talking about the master. Please include PayPal. Yeah, we look into that so that it's easy processing on the registration, and it's 1 or 2 days. It's 2.5 days. 1 day in total, Ono, so 2.5 days. And let me go to the question, Ivanka, should we expect a change of the PMBOK and the exam in light of? I think this is a great question, Ivanka. Ricardo is the man of the PMOs, the PMBOK, so I'll pass this to Ricardo.
I'm not, my friend. I'm not the man. I just love project management. Please don't say I'm not. Look, I don't work for PMI. I love PMI. We are both fellows. We really love, but I cannot talk on behalf of PMI. Okay, so just be mindful. I don't think PMI will need to adapt the PMBOK 7th edition to AI, because AI is just a new way of us delivering things. It does not change the principle that is covered on the PMBOK 7. This is my personal opinion, because otherwise, every year, every moment, we need to update the PMBOK to that, okay? So I don't believe on that, okay? So let me take Omar. Omar, it will be there a certificate? Yes, it will be. And Antonio, do you want to share about the masterclass? Because APMG will issue the certificate. So Antonio, if you want to explain more about that.
Yeah, this was something that Ricardo, we set as a goal. We deliver a masterclass, although we have some followers, but we wanted an externally recognized, it's a certification badge that you'll get from APMG International, which is the opposite, the other side of PMI, so it's recognized. It's not a certification, maybe because there's no exam, so maybe in the future we think about that, but you'll get something from APMG International as participant. This is just for people who join this class. They will get that APMG AI-driven project management revolution recognition.
Okay, perfect. So okay, it's 1 day or 2. Should we expect issue about Roberto Carvalho, issues about copyright? Is it a true concern or not using the AI? It's true. It's big, or maybe it's true. It's huge. Okay, and this is probably on the top of every single copyright lawyer on earth today, because what is copyright now? For example, when you use ChatGPT to create lyrics of a music, where ChatGPT is taking these ideas? Probably from old music. So this is a massive issue. And this is one of the key things we are so concerned on Otto, to make sure that we get the copyright and the available information, what is public, what is not. And this will be extremely disruptive. It probably, if I can tell you the 2 things that all generative AI will disrupt most and fast: privacy and copyright. And I'm not saying for the good. So these will be, I would say, big challenges. You want to take one, Antonio?
Yeah, I think there's something on the masterclass. It will be in English. You could earn videos, so we're going to put the videos too.
Also, there are more than 20 questions on the FAQ on the website that you can check there. There is plenty of answers there for these operational questions if you may have, okay?
Yeah. I think, Ricardo, what I think we need to do is go through all these questions and record a video, this time for sure. And then we send it together with the slides and the links, because I think the questions are all very good For example, Marine van Melden, he says, how safe is to use this tool with sensitive company information? I think from my point of view, these tools are still evolving. So I would not put any sensitive or confidential information yet, right? It's something that you play with some documents, but I would be a bit cautious on that sharing confidential information. I think that you need to have some extra checks, which from our side, we don't have.
Yeah, I want just to add to that. Sorry for interrupting you. No. Add to that, because what I see is that at the end, companies will have this, I would say, own format of generative AI that will use public data plus their own copyrighted data. And this, your own data will not cross the border. It will not happen as what happened with Samsung, where people put confidential information on ChatGPT. Just be mindful, all of you attending this webinar, everything you put on ChatGPT, every single prompt you make on ChatGPT becomes proprietary of ChatGPT. Okay, so it means I would say you do not own that prompt anymore. So be very mindful on the public tool on that. But most of the tools today, Microsoft is developing, Google is developing, is this, I would say, kind of firewall to make sure that you don't have this challenge, okay? I want just to take two more questions before we close. Johnny Silva, complex projects demand weekly, monthly, quarterly reports. Do you have any of these tools connected to charts, schedule, dashboard that is able to summarize status? The answer is yes, absolutely yes. And there is plenty of Gamma is one of them that I told you. You can use Umata if you have this data in a file or a website. Or if you use, for example, Power BI to do that, or if you have an ERP system, you can do this easily. But I want to challenge you, Johnny, on weekly, monthly, and quarterly, because I think with AI, we will disrupt that too. There is no monthly, weekly. It's like your balance sheet. It's not something like once a year your company does a balance sheet with the audit. I think it will be extremely faster and almost online. So people will have the report of your project not on a daily basis, but at the time they want, at their fingerprints online and completely updated, because the speed is different. And Taimur asked, is there a unified platform standards in terms of that data provided to such AI tools? Yes, there is a lot of work trying to create some standards and platform, but now the race is being played in such a dramatically fast way that, it's very hard to reach an agreement before we move, because for you to move, you need to reach an agreement, move. And what is happening today, it's just everybody's moving. Everybody's moving. You saw last week Google releasing, and every day, probably if we release this webinar tomorrow, it will be the same. It will be the same. My friend, we are reaching 3 p.m. I just want really to apologize for you. It was completely unexpected. This, I would say, this technology. We were not expecting this amount of people. We are very happy to see the interest, but we need just to figure out now and learn what went wrong in terms of the videos and also the stream. So, but we will publish this on all social media, even today. We'll do that as soon as we finish here. Antonio, back to you for your final.
Thank you. You said that all. Apologies for the hiccups here with the tech, but glad to see so many people in the call and signing up and helping. I think we are all part of the movement and we are all contributing, so we can work together. And I think the future is bright. So I look forward to seeing you all in July. I think that's when the Masterclass is taking place.
Yeah, we are planning to do, Antonio and I were planning to do something in June also on some specific topics to discuss. So we'll stay tuned and you will hear from us soon. Okay, thank you very much. All the best to you. So you learn, no matter what preparation you make it, things have a chance to go wrong. Okay, thank you very much and see you next time. Thank you, Antonio. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.